Attention, dear viewers. Today we enter the dangerous territory of broken promises and broken hearts. Get ready for a terrific story of infidelity that turned our hero's life into a real nightmare. He trusted his wife, loved her infinitely, but never suspected that her fidelity was only a thin mask hiding her secret encounters. One fateful day, fate brought him to the bitterest truth of all: his wife's adultery, caught in the act. The broken promises and heartbreak that led him to this moment are now intertwined with rage and pain. But this is only the beginning of a story where fate and treason come crashing down on his shoulders, forcing him to fight for his own soul. What will he do when faced with a betrayal that penetrates to the very depths of his being? Will he be able to forgive and start a new chapter in his life? Or will the betrayal become a spark that ignites the flames of revenge? You will have to go through this whirlpool of emotions, explore the dark recesses of the human soul to uncover the truth behind this cruel betrayal. Join us to meet heroes facing treason and explore the limits of human endurance and hope. But beware, dear viewers, there is no room for the weak in this world of treason and the drama of destiny. Open the doors to your soul and prepare to be immersed in this stunning story that will not leave you indifferent. And here we go. All in all, we were a pretty tight-knit family, loving each other. We have a child, and things were really good until recently. About 3 weeks ago, I started noticing strange behavior in my wife. She became phony, less sociable. She stopped letting me physically near her. I did not suspect anything because I was 100% sure of her. It turned out that she met in a chat room with some distant guy. Her head was blown off, and she was almost in love. Although, she'd only seen him in pictures and never even heard his voice. He was supposed to come over, and they were supposed to meet. But it just so happened that I found out about it, and he backed out at the end. In the end, the wife was left a beggar, and I decided to take the baby with me and leave the cunt alone. But I didn't leave yet, as she lay at my feet, begging for forgiveness, and has been crying every day since, swearing she loves me, begging me to forgive her, but I can't do it. I still love her madly, but I can hardly forgive her anymore. I want us to separate, because it pains me to be around her after something like this, but on the other hand she begs, says she's sorry for everything. I do not know what to do now. I want to break up with her and find that bastard to crack his skull open. I hope one day I'll get my hands on that goggle-eyed bastard. But on the other hand, I love her, and it would hurt me to break up, especially since I'm not giving the baby to anyone. I am torn apart. I do not understand anything. What do you think, dear listeners? What would be the right thing for me to do? And in order to confirm my opinion, I will share some thoughts. Now, this is real treason, as far as I'm concerned. It's even worse than just hooking up for the sake of intimacy, although I would kill for both. I don't think I can trust her. I tell her so, and she asks me to be patient, saying that time will cure, but do not go away, and so on. As a result, what have we come to? I put her under round-the-clock control. I monitor and listen to everything. It's like that paranoid guy, like I don't have anything else to do. But at least I don't hear any phrases like she's at work or a friend's house or we're just texting as friends. She doesn't work. I know all my friends more or less well, and I can keep track of them all. And socializing with male representatives is contraindicated for her. She's fine for now. But I think it's only temporary. This guy knew she was married and had a child. He also knew it wasn't bad, but he moved on. I, for one, would never do that, and so he personally blames me. But of course, my wife is even more to blame. I don't deny that either. Honestly, I just want to tear up and throw up with helplessness. It makes me furious, too, to think that, even if potentially there was a possibility that they could have met, and then I'll tell you honestly, with my hand on my heart, I would have left her or chased the fuck away to her parents' house. If we didn't have a daughter, and don't beg, she would have me like that. I kind of stayed home for now, but I still feel the same way I did in the beginning. I can't forgive the betrayal. I was betrayed. My daughter was betrayed. My parents were betrayed. By the way, they did not want her, and I still have to think. There are boundaries that must never be crossed. And I fell in love, but I have a feeling for a long time. A family, a child, a wife that I love somehow. It's just that she is still a young fool, who is lost in the head from beautiful words, and who can't lie either. But that doesn't excuse her in any way. Absolutely. I guess I'll still file for divorce, although I do not know how. After all, every day I cannot stand, especially when she is constantly climbing to talk or hug and cry when I was rude to her. I also think that once she gave once, she will give twice. But on the other hand, in what I probably can believe her, so that she realized how terrible it was to lose everything and never want to risk it all again. What do you think? Although mostly it's just a cheap word. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. We live in a rental apartment, by the way. I don't think there's been any physical infidelity, although I have my doubts. And if it's a divorce, it's for good. I'm nervous even now, although she is under control, as I said. And if we split up to get back together later, and I cannot keep track of her, I do not know. And I don't want, having forgotten about her joint for a while, to remember it again. Anyway, at least the howling got rid of. Thank God, there is a beloved child and parents, for whose sake I must force myself to continue to live normally. Otherwise, I wouldn't give a damn about anything. I am ready to understand everything. I am a very understanding person. And when I feel that my wife needs something, I do my best to please her, to make her feel happy. But apparently I have overlooked something. And the betrayal, unfortunately, I can't forgive. For me, you see, if she gave me a soul, it is little better than if she really cheated. Now I'm trying to bring myself to my senses to look at everything more soberly. Otherwise, of course, nothing horrible would have happened if I had thrown her out on the street afterwards. But yeah, I couldn't. All in all, I'm pretty much ready for anything now. I'd love to chase her away, but it's hard to do when she's lying on her feet and begging so much. If there is even the slightest possibility of making sure my daughter grows up in a full family, isn't it better to abstain? Who's to say? Besides, and I myself in my own eyes already a wimp after such a weakness. At this point, the only one in demand is her. But if I do manage to find this creep, well, come on, it's at least not entirely legal. I also wondered, why did this happen? And believe me, I kept trying to find out why. She has no beef with me. I don't really have any friends where we live, so I come home from work every night, except on some rare occasions. Most of the time we spend time together, chatting, rather than going off on our own. But something was missing, and there is no way to write off her betrayal. If things are so bad between you that you allow yourself to flirt, isn't it better to break up than to create illusions? You tell me, huh? I respect myself. But I was given a brain by God to think, and normal people think before they do something, if it doesn't count in seconds. I tell it here, because there's no one in my life to tell it to. I can no longer trust her, but my decision was as follows. I will not forgive her, and let my heart is closed to her. But I will give a chance to stay with the child, provided that she will not be stupid. I just really love my child, and if he has even the slightest opportunity to grow up in a full family, then we need to use this opportunity. Especially since we rarely fight, I do not raise my hands on her. So I think the child from this will not be worse. Of course, I don't know how masculine this decision is, but I hope that it is at least the right one. She cheated once, she will cheat again. But that's up to her. If she wants to do something with someone, let her go. It would be easier for me if she went away on her own, about me as a child to the naughty. I'm probably not going to look for anybody. Of course, as the saying goes, do not say for sure, but now I do not need anyone but the child and parents. And now moving on to the second story, they were inseparable friends, trusted each other unconditionally. But suddenly our hero's life was on the verge of collapse when he discovered that his dear wife was caught in a web of infidelity, poked at by the person closest to her, his friend. The weaknesses his wife had so cleverly concealed became tools of manipulation and betrayal. Now the hero has become a warrior in his own drama of fate, where he must confront not only infidelity, but the destruction of his most precious relationship. How will he be able to deal with this catastrophe that has shattered his world? Can he find the strength to forgive and begin a new chapter in his life? Or will infidelity become a source of implacable revenge? Join us in the amazing stories of Cheating Wife, Destiny Dramas, adultery series to enter a world of mystery and passion, where trust is cheated and hearts are torn apart. Unravel with us the mystery behind this unpredictable story. But be prepared, dear viewers, you are in for a heartwarming journey where the line between truth and lies, loyalty and betrayal is blurred. Immerse yourself in this stunning world of infidelity and destiny drama to realize that true power is born in the darkest moments. Hello, everyone. I'm not going to describe everything in detail, like how we lived and what we did. I'll get right to the point. I had a huge fight with my common-law wife and she left me. It all happened, I believe, because of bad attitudes and misunderstandings, by the way, on both sides, but for almost a year. Almost immediately after we had the baby, it was 3 excruciating months of trying to keep the family together. As it turns out, she managed to be with another man during that time. This went on for about a month. I tell you, at first I was furious. I spilled a lot of slop on her. I hated her with all my heart. The whole world collapsed for me then. I realized that I had to give up, forget about it, start a new life, and so on. So I began to emerge from that state. By that time, I had already understood that I needed to forgive the person, let them go, and not hold a grudge, for the simple reason that I would feel worse for myself. I thought it over and really forgave with all my heart. Fate, that's not the case. Don't kill yourself all your life, and the very next day I realized there was a God. She came to me on her knees, she cried. She realized that she had lost the dearest thing of all, and promised to do everything in her power to bring me back. She realized that it was our son who was suffering first. So I explained that I loved her, that I also really want to keep the family, and so on. But I don't see the point, since there is no more trust, that there is every chance of a repeat, and that every time I touch her, I will remember her vile deed. Anyway, told her that maybe someday in a month or a year or 2, we might have something, but I'm not sure. She promised to do everything for it. I admit that I love her very much want to be together with her and her son, but I'm afraid that nothing good will come of the memories. How to be do not know. I want advice from people who were in a similar situation and have forgiven. Did anything good come out of it? I want to believe that all is not lost. God says to forgive after all. So, to complete the picture, I'll give you all the details. It happened 9 months after the birth, and 3 months after we stopped living together, I found out about it. Our relationship was really going downhill. She says that after the breakup, she was convinced that I hated her. She cannot explain why she did it, or rather, I cannot understand her explanations. At the same time, I realize that there is practically no chance, but now our baby is suffering a lot. He feels everything, even though I am very small. We are constantly dragging him back and forth, since both she and I work 2 days in 2. My buddy couldn't get along with his for 3 years, then he spit and left. For a year, he went to her sometimes for intimacy, but told her he would never be with her. Anyway, during that year, she changed so much that he married her, and they live happily now. I think too, now some time to live without her, to observe, and time will tell. Not to communicate will not work, at least because of the baby. The baby was born. After that, we lived in a very bad relationship for 9 months, and finally, as you have already understood, we broke up. For 2 to 3 weeks, I was furious after I found out. But then, as I said, thought about it, realized that it was all unnecessary, and decided to forgive, let go. Because again, I realized that it is impossible to live with such a burden. And then about God, she came crawling in. When we were living together, there was no one. She was at home with the child. When we parted, she said that she decided that I did not need her. I hated her. She hated me, and so on. Then decided that we would no longer be together accordingly. Then this horse came along, and she decided to sort of put a period to it, as if to say that after that nothing would happen 100% of the time. Then it dawned on her that she had lost her most precious possession, and that it was very bad for the child. She wanted to recreate the family. I should also say that during that time I had no one, although there were options. But I did not consider them because I was thinking only about how to be and what to do. And yes, one more thing I completely forgot to specify: this man. So, the one with whom she was, her friend. In general, she has few friends. One friend, and this jerk, says that first she asked him to help there in different things, as one with a child. Well, no way. Then it all went. And I know that this bastard has a bad breath on her whole life. Took advantage of the moment while she was broken. Yes, I gave him a beating. Yes, if there was no child at all, would have taken away to the woods. I fully understand that to continue that, anything is simply dangerous, and myself will not be able to live with her. I do not remember. A nightmare in general. The time to put everything in its place, one way or another, we'll see, but your advice based on your experience, I would be happy to listen. Dear listeners, friends, thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing to your channel. And if you haven't done it yet, I assure you, or rather warn you, that you miss a lot of videos and YouTube just doesn't notify you about their release. Also, thank you for very actively commenting on each story and giving likes and dislikes. It helps me to understand what you like more and what you like less, and to choose content for you better. And if you don't want to wait for a new video to come out, I invite you to visit our channel and choose from over 200 videos just the one you like. And please take care of yourself and your family. Stay healthy, and I won't say goodbye. See you soon.